What's up, New Style? What's up, New Style? It's Honest Fireman Bob Hope. Y'all know I'm running for president, right? Because anything is better than DT, New Style. But not according to these fake blackmail crappers. You know, guys like Dry Ice Cube, Bitcoin, and Kumbaya. They are dead set on getting DT back into our White House. And God only knows why. Dry Ice thinks he invented reparations, New Style. Bitcoin doesn't want to pay taxes. And Kumbaya has a birthday party, of all things. The misinformation being spread on FB is preposterous. And lazy black folk are falling for the okie doke left and right. Because again, we are stupid. We wallow in the mire and want to stay there. Not all black American folk are stupid. Certainly not. But there's an emerging group that will say things like, we have been voting Democratic all this time, and what have they done for us? While me, I'm like, hey, I got to take care of myself, no matter who is in the White House. Folks have a skewed vision about what government is supposed to do. Now, I said I would never give this girl any recognition, but I'm forced to talk about this Terrell Owens chick. She is who's always saying that black people have been ignored by Democrats and we haven't been rewarded for our votes. Then she will turn around and call AOC or Bernie a socialist. New Style, guess what? When you're looking for the Democrats to give black people something in return for our votes, it's called, guess what? That's right. It's called socialism, ladies and gentlemen. That is socialism. Think about it before this goes too far. We have to nip it in the bud, New Style. If a black person ever tries to suggest that, then all we have to say in response is, that sounds like socialism to me, because that is what they are promoting, New Style. Don't let them get you twisted. See, these new crappers and Mrs. Terrell Owens and cubic zirconia and polyester, they are all on the same page. They are all saying the same things. But the sad part is there's no basis. It's all hyperbole. It's also known as hype. Don't believe the hype. Especially from a guy like Bitcoin. He's a rich guy. He doesn't want to pay taxes. Are you kidding me? Without taxation, then how are we supposed to pay our bills, America? Where is the money supposed to come from, Big Mouth? Our economy, it revolves around the taxes that the country gets. It keeps things going, keeps things moving. After Bush cheated in 2000 and gave the rich folk a tax break, there was an expiration date. That date occurred during Obama's presidency, but sadly, President Obama, he extended it into where we are now. And that was a mistake. One of the few mistakes that President Obama made, in my humble opinion, because enough is enough of burdening us common folk paying for everything and whatever. Okay. I know I'm common, all right? Ha! I ain't got no money. I live in a tiny house and I catch the bus. JB has made it clear that folks making over $400,000 a year will experience a tax increase and will gradually escalate as folks' income escalates. So in other words, if you make under $400,000, you really, I'm certain We can find his tax plan if we look around for it. I don't make that kind of money, like I said, so I ain't worried about it. Bitcoin and them, on the other hand, say, no, we don't want to pay taxes. And to which I say, tough luck, Chuck. You've been getting over long enough, and now it's time to pay the piper. And besides, if Bitcoin and the rest of the crappers don't want to pay their fair share, that's a sure indication that they have mismanaged their earnings. I used to dispute when folks claim that DT is a billionaire. I instantly would wonder, what billionaire cheats and welches on deals and tries to not pay his taxes in America? And it dawned on me that they are not handling their affairs properly. They have too many yachts, too many mansions of glory, too many suicide machines. That has to be it. See, when I pay taxes, it doesn't ruin me. Although the IRS, they did try their best. But again, that is because I'm the little guy in a tiny house. And they could bully me. At least they thought they could, but I showed them. Anyway, folks want to rally around the crappers as if they too are well off financially. You want to pretend like you're a Bitcoin. You think you got, you're in the same boat that they're in. JB's tax plan is not going to affect you. Because to be crystal clear, if you do not make upwards of $400,000 a year annually, you will not experience a tax increase under JB's plan. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Use the brain that God gave you for once. Dry Ice is trying to act as if he invented reparations, y'all. When Black Lives Matter founder Elisa Garza, she been on top of it for a minute. Our CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, they've also been pushing the button on our behalf. But it was my main man, Uncle Roro, y'all, Roland Martin. Y'all, he truly exposed Dry Ice for the fallacy in this CWB, his contract with Black America. And he even suggested that Dry Ice should partner with Miss Garza, to try to effect real change. If he's serious, then be serious. If you don't, be about it, man. And by the way, I think that Uncle Roland Martin, he should be our go-to guy, by the way. I love you, man. How much you want to bet Dry Ice hasn't reached out to Alicia Garza, New Style? Because guess what, New Style? Dry Ice is on some bull crap. That's why. Dry Ice Cube is in cahoots with some Iranian dude, Syrian dude, or whatever. And guess who else, New Style? Guess who else? Wait for it. Wait for it. Steve Bannon. Yup. Another crook from the DT criminal empire known as our White House now. Now it's like the Godfather. I know there are some people out there, some young people out there watching this that idolize these crappers. But it's time to lift every voice and vote, New Style. We got to get our souls to the polls. We have to stop falling for the okie doke and stop voluntarily being stupid, wallowing in the mire, absorbing the nonsense of anyone encouraging you to not vote for Joe Biden. If they tell you don't vote, then they get away from it as quickly as possible. Dry Ice came out instructing folk, no reparations, no votes, which is all kinds of backwards, New Style. The correct order is no vote, no reparations, because quite naturally that is the order of things. How can we expect reparations in a couple of weeks? Not even that, really. It's like 10 or 12 days, now 11 days, when it's been stagnant for hundreds of years. So what Dry Ice is, what he was suggesting, is only for stupid people to follow. We should vote for JB. And then after JB is in the White House, we demand reparations. But dry ice and Bitcoin, 50 Cent, Bitcoin, they pushing to allow DT back into the White House, y'all. Dry Ice even had the audacity to throw a ridiculous number out into the atmosphere. 500 billion was on the table. 500 billion was on the table. That's $500 billion, America. When Roland Martin, Uncle Roro, he said, well, man, who you been speaking with? Dry Ice, he clammed up. He couldn't even give us a name. Something is rotten, y'all. Something ain't right. Dry Ice is an anaconda snake in the grass, attempting to pull the wool over your eyes, you guys. He's like the guy with the tattoo on his neck I was talking about, spouting off all this nonsense. None of it's real. I think his name is Cain or something, C-A-I-N, I don't know. They are lying left and right again. All they're doing is pulling for DT. You don't see Nicki Minaj and them trying to get DT in the White House. No females, New Style. No females are trying to get DT back into the White House. Why? Because they're not stupid. They're not stupid enough to do anything dumb like that. I'm not saying that Cardi B comes off as a rocket scientist or anything, but with a body like that, man, who cares? Okay. I'm just kidding, New Style. But seriously though, she's been pretty adamant that DT is a nutcase. Now to all the fans of these crappers, it's time for your energy to go elsewhere. You need rapper Common in your lives. Somebody that won't hang you out to dry like Bitcoin and Kumbaya and Dry Ice and, you know. I used to be a firefighter candidate back in Chicago. And when people call 911, the company will go to the address, the police will be there, then an ambulance will show up. Well, one time there was a call in this apartment building, and the person was at the end of this real long hallway. Okay. After we entered, my captain instructed me to clear the hallway because we was going to need it to get, to get the person out. The hallway became full with all the nosy neighbors, y'all. Everybody was looking into the apartment. They was trying to see what was going on. So I started asking them loudly. I was very polite, please clear the hallway, you guys, so we can evacuate the building. But it was like talking to a brick wall. No one moved. Nobody listened to me. It was like I wasn't there. My captain was like, hey man, do you need some help, candidate? I responded, I was like, no sir. Just let me know when you're ready. I then, I continued to politely ask everyone, could they please move because we're going to need the hallway cleared so we can get the victim to the ambulance and to a hospital. But no one moved. They didn't care. They weren't listening to me. So finally my captain shouts out, we're ready, candidate. We're ready. Here we come. So I turned to the crowd in the hallway full of neighbors and I sternly shouted, get the F out the way. And what do you know? They all magically disappeared. I'm telling you this story because I'm trying to show how much we hate ourselves. We hate ourselves. We relish stupidity. Black American Americans. We relish being lowlifes. We relish being downtrodden. We are lazy and always looking for an alternative to hard work. An alternative to being dignified. Take Bitcoin, for example. 50 Cent, Bitcoin. He doesn't want to pay taxes. So much so that he will ignore the poison that DT is anxious to unleash on all of us. Also, he won't have to pay taxes. Now remember, New Style, Bitcoin, he used to sell drugs. Illegal drugs. He used to sell drugs and poison his community for what? Money, New Style. Bitcoin and DT and the rest of the crappers, they could care less about us commoners. So us common folk, we need to care about ourselves and start to pay attention to these con artists. People like Mrs. Terrell Owens and Kumbaya, who want to persuade folks to help put DT back into our White House. 2016 was devastating, New Style. Herc should have been our first female POTUS, but we blew it, America. Herc was the most qualified candidate for POTUS in the history of our country, and we blew it. Plain and simple. DT keeps bragging about the victory, but DT cheated, y'all. DT is a fake POTUS. He's a fake. No one thought DT was going to progress. DT was a joke. He still is a joke for that matter. But the country is not laughing anymore. It's not funny. Unless you are a red cap at a rally. You know, you think it's funny. We on the verge of catastrophe, New Style. The Russians are up to their old tricks, New Style, planting fake dissension amongst black people, having them believe that voting is a waste of time, or that your votes are being taken for granted. So why bother? Or the ultra fake one, dry ice. That's the dry ice approach with his what's in it for me mentality, as if he's the Black Panther now and cares about black folk all of a sudden. Hey, there was tons of black Americans that stayed home in 2016, and the result was what? DT got to the White House. Because we stayed home, y'all. It's pretty much our fault. But this time around, we ain't having it, New Style. It's evidenced by the enormous response to the concerted effort to suppress our votes. We ain't having it. We ain't having it, are we, New Style? Nope. See, DT and Kumbaya and Bitcoin and especially you, Dry Ice. When you try to be slick, you get exposed. And that is when we fight back harder. Y'all are in big trouble because this message will resonate amongst the masses, and we will show up and show out. We will gladly stand in line for 6 to 12 hours to cast our votes because that is what John Lewis got beat upside the head for. That was for us, New Style, black Americans. That is what Martin Luther King was assassinated for, New Style, what he was killed for. So you and I can get DT out of the White House. DT has got to go. There are no two ways about it, New Style. Now I'm going to close with this. I was watching some news coverage of black American people in Wisconsin, a swing state that stayed home in 2016. You know, I remember a young lady saying she will stand in line until doomsday to vote this time around. The reporter said, so, yeah, but you didn't vote in 2016. Well, what happened? She said, nope, I didn't vote. The reporter asked, well, how does that make you feel? The young lady replied very plain. It was real plain with one word, y'all. She said, stupid. She said she feels stupid. We won't be fooled again. Vote blue. We have to get rid of every last scumbag Republican in Washington right now, especially Moscow Mitch. Before I die, Honest Fireman Bob Hope, 2020. America is not crazy.